knowledge that is applied to the practice of work. Professionalism has been described by the American Board of Internal Medicine as constituting those attitudes and behaviors that serve to maintain others' interest above the physician's self-interest. What is professional behavior and professionalism? Professional behavior is generally assessed by the public. That is, it refers to the observable manners and conducts of professionals that can be viewed and assessed by the public. While professionalism is an abstract term that embraces elements like integrity, honor, compassion, altruism, etc., we will discuss all of these in the further slides. Attributes of professionalism: altruism, specialized knowledge, competency, honesty, integrity, accountability, self-regulation, image. Project Professionalism by the American Board of Internal Medicine 2001 identifies 6 key elements of the professionalism. These are altruism, accountability, excellence, duty, honor and integrity, and respect for others. What is altruism? Altruism is selfless concern for the well-being of others. It is the main essence of professionalism in which the best interest of others, that's patient, not the self-interest, is the rule. Accountability. Accountability is required at all levels. That is either the patient or society or your profession. It is every professional person is accountable for their thoughts, words, actions, especially when they have made a mistake. Accountability is closely tied to honesty and integrity. It is the main element of professionalism. Excellence. Excellence is the quality of being outstanding. Excellence entails a conscientious effort to exceed normal expectations and make a commitment to lifelong learning. Duty. Duty is a moral or legal obligation. It is the free acceptance of the commitment to the service, undergoing inconvenience to achieve a high grade level well-being and the services for the patient. Now the honor and integrity. Honor and integrity are consistent regard for the highest standards of behavior and refusal to violate one's personal and professional codes at any cost. Respect for others. Respect for others is the main concern in all professions. In medical profession, like the respect for their patients, their families, physician, professional colleagues like nurses, paramedical staff, medical students, residents, subspecialty fellows in the essence of humanism. Now, what is competency? Competency is that the professionals get their job. All the professions should be reliable. They keep their promises and don't make excuses, but focus on finding the solutions. Self-regulation. Self-regulation is all about the respect for the people around them, no matter what their role or the situation. For self-regulation, a high degree of emotional intelligence is required by considering the emotion of oneself and of the other peoples around you. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is a social form of intelligence that enables the people to recognize their own and others' emotions and to make appropriate choices for thinking and in action. Emotional intelligence will lead to increased team performance, decrease occupational stress, improved decision making, increased learnership ability, and increased personal well-being. In 1990, Mayer and Selway offered the first formulation of concept called the emotional intelligence. It was a new way of thinking about the ingredients of life success. These are the emotional intelligence skills, that is perceiving emotions, managing their emotions, understanding the emotions of yourself and others, and facilitating your thoughts using the emotions. Now, what is an image? All the professionals should be well dressed according to the appropriate situation and should be uh, show their full exterior so that they can attain a high degree of confidence and respects from all this. Now, what are the unprofessional behaviors? American Board of Internal Medicine 2001 describes the unprofessional behavior in terms of 7 broad categories of signs and symptoms. These are the abuse of power, arrogance, greed, misrepresentation, impairment, lack of consciousness, and conflicts in interest. We will discuss all of these in detail. Number one is the abuse of power. Abuse while interacting with the patients and colleagues, like breach of confidentiality, sexual harassment, and vices. The second is arrogance. Arrogance is the offensive display of superiority and self-importance. Greed. When in any professional, money becomes the driving force, it leads to an unprofessional behavior, which is known as the greed. Misrepresentation. Misrepresentation can be divided into two, that is lying and fraud. Lying, which is the consciously failing to tell the truth, while the fraud is conscious misrepresentation of material fact with the intentions to mislead others. Now, the impairment. Any disability that prevents the physician from discharging his or her duties. The lack of consciousness is a failure to fulfill their responsibilities. Now, what are the conflicts in the interest? Conflicts in interest are the unethical collaboration with any industry, acceptance of their goals, and the misuse of the services which are provided to you, that is like overcharging and inappropriate treatment given by the doctors to their patients. Now we discuss the professionalism in teamwork. Professionalism in teamwork take responsibility rather than making excuses or blaming each other. All the team members should openly share the information with each other. All team members should collaborate on important issues to find out the solutions for all their problems, and they should focus on the common purpose for which they are working hard. All the team members should value each other's background and openly and respectfully voice concerns and criticisms. All team members should be positive about the team members and their work. Now, the individual professionalism. Individual professionalism includes the attributes like attitude, trustworthiness, responsibility, loyalty, being a team player, openness to critic, honesty, care about the people and goals, investment, accountability, and emotional intelligence. Now, what is the professionalism as a student? Professionalism as a student involves the enjoying the total experience, building your own entire career, developing ownership of your program, managing your time, selecting the responsibility, having non-negotiable values, personal enthusiasm, and style. Professionalism in curriculum. Professionalism in curriculum, these are the different associations which provide different principles for the professionalism in curriculum. Number one is the Journal Medical Council 1993. American Association of Medical College Medical School Objective Projects 1999, Accreditation Council of Graduate Medical Education Outcomes Project 2000, CanMeds 2000, Saudi Meds 2010, Association of American Medical Colleges Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education. One is the Accreditation Council for the Graduate Medical Professionalism. They are the principles given by them that treat all the people with respect, compassion, and dignity. All the patients' needs will supersede the residents' self-interest. It has all of them to have to accept, and understand the accountability to patient, colleagues, and society. Treating diverse patient population with sensitivity and respect. These are the principles which are given by the Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Professionalism. Professionalism sub-competencies, demonstrating the professional conduct and accountability, demonstrating humanism and cultural proficiency, maintaining the emotional, physical, and mental health, and pursuing continual personal and emotional growth. This is a four-gate model of Arabian medical professionalism. This four-gate model is the general representation of professionalism which is engraved in the minds of native Arabian medical professionals. These four gates deal with 8 qualities which is representing the professionalism. Gate number 1 deal with self. Gate number 2 deal with tasks. Gate number 3 deal with others. And gate number 4, which is unique in this study design, that is dealing with the God. It is never ever represented in the Western cultures. First of all, discuss the gate number 1. Gate number 1 is all about dealing with yourself, with the self-awareness, with the self-management. Self-awareness is like recognize your own potentials, your limitations, and how to balance between their personal and professional roles. The gate number 2 is all about dealing with the tasks, like when you start any work, any professional career, the excellence and the commitment to your professional development, and how it will be reflective in your practice. It all includes in the gate number 2. Gate number 3 all about dealing with others. How do you deal with the other, your patients, your colleagues, your students, seniors, juniors, all other, and all the people around you, and to keep the professional confidentiality. Gate number 4, as I earlier said, is very unique in this model. That is, it is with dealing with God. Arabian, according to the work at 1993, faith is worth more than 90% of the Arabs here, regardless of their diverse affiliations and nationalities. It all includes the self-accountability and self-motivation. Self-accountability for your own behavior, which the internal drive to reflection, and the self-motivation is the expect the reward from God, not from people. All you do for your patients, for your colleagues, you have to accept your reward from God, not from the people. There are 4 salient features of four-gate model. Number 1, a move from the classical presentation of medical professionalism to link them in a structural pattern of connected professional qualities as coupled in 4 logical domains. That is, we have discussed above, 4 gates. Number 2 is the value of developing and nurturing self-awareness and self-management as the route to inner peace and having self-accountability and self-motivation. Number 3 is the gates captures the dynamic nature of professionalism as a pathway or notion that resonate well with the team aspiring towards. Number 4 is applicable after validation to other similar cultures where faith represents a cornerstone in communication and the basis for social values. This is the diagram which shows the CanMEDS proposal. CanMEDS is represented by the Royal College in 1991. In 1990s, CanMEDS is also known as the Clover Floor, DAISY, or FLORS. In the CanMed presentation, it shows the abilities about the professional medical profession which is required to treat the patients and her for her expertise. There are the 7 thematic representation of the competencies, which is also known as the CanMed roles. These 7 thematic competencies are the health advocate, scholar, professional, communicator, collaborator, leader, and medical expert. This figure show how all these roles uniquely and fit together to show the expert physician. This is a model which is presented by the Saudi Meds. It includes the 7 domains which represent the which represent the principles of the professional medical practice in Saudi Arabia. These 7 domains include the patient care, research and scholarship, professionalism, communication and collaboration, community-oriented practice, scientific approach to practice. This model can lead to tell about the assessment and the development of curriculum and to ensure that the medical education is ongoing changing according to the needs and demands. Now, how can we assess professionalism? We can assess professionalism either by written assessment, competency-based assessment, performance-based assessment, professionalism portfolio or the self-evaluation, and 360-degree evaluation. Here is a Miller's pyramid. This pyramid is all about the ranking of the competence base, that is from know, knows how, shows, and does. It is about the professionalism that we can rank the professional expert from no voice to the expert level. It is divided into 2 parts, that is cognition and behavior. The base of this pyramid, knows and knows how, form the cognition part, and the topmost part shows and does forms the behavior. In the know sections, it includes the fact gathering. That is traditionally we use the true and false MCQs, and knows how includes the interpretation, application, that is case presentations, essays, extending messaging type MCQs. And the shows part includes the demonstration of learning, that is stimulation or OSCEs. And the does includes the performance integrated into practice, that is direct observation and workplace assessment. First of all, we use the written assessment. Written assessment can be done by selected response, that is MCQs, or the constructed response, that is SCQs or SS based. The written assessment forms the base of the Miller's pyramid, that is NOS. Written assessment. Ideal way to assess the professionalism is the written assessment. The knowledge of judicial, legislative, administrative purposes, and ethical principles. It reflects the ability of medical students and junior doctors. Now the questionnaires. In written assessments, we can use questionnaires which are often based on weekends or the clinical scenarios and may involve the description of critical incidents. Questionnaire shows about the validity and reliability. Number second in written assessment is the critical incidents report. To reflect a critical incident doctor has experienced or witnessed, and to encourage the reflection and the intention to the elements of professionalism. But it is dependent on the type of the incidents, whether to determine which aspect of the professionalism you are being assessed. After written assessment, we can now assess the professionalism by competency-based assessment. This is a systematic approach in the earliest stages of the curriculum, such as standard professional encounters, objective structures, clinical examinations like OSCEs. They have the advantage of the written assessment in that they can be used to assess the show-how level of the Miller's pyramid. In this Miller pyramid, in which we assess the professionalism, competency-based assessments lie over here, shows how and does. Now, what is performance-based assessment? Work-based systems with direct observation of the students, which can lead to measure the upper end that is shows how or even does of the Miller's pyramid. It is the most authentic way of assessment of professionalism. But it is time consuming and requires well-trained observers and accurate criteria to work well. Now, what is 360-degree evaluation? 360-degree evaluation or multi-rater feedback or multi-purpose feedback is assessed by the faculty or nursing or the other members of the staff and by the patients. This is how to implement a 360-degree assessment initiative. Number one is to set a purpose and the strategy. Clearly articulate the 360 initiative connects to the business strategy and the talent strategy. And the second is the organization. To consider carefully when and who. Timing is crucial and having management support is invaluable. Number third is the trust. An organization culture of trust and openness is the key to success. Now the fourth one is support. Ensure all the administrative processes, roles are clear and they are realistically timeable and communicable. Number fifth is the development. To maximize the effectiveness, make sure that the process for creating the development plan, support, and follow through. It's a 360-degree feedback tool that is to identify the strengths and weaknesses, to improve the productivity and work relationships, to determine the performance appraisal, creates a culture of openness, and identifies the skill gaps for training needs assessment. Now, the professional mini evaluation exercise. It is the modification of mini clinical evaluation exercise, which is 10 to 20 minute observation or the snapshot of the training patient interactionship. Professional mini evaluation exercise is about 15 to 30 minute snapshot, which assesses 4 discrete areas like doctor-patient relationship skills, reflective skills, time management, and interprofessional relationship skills. Now the portfolios. Portfolios provide us about the evidence of competency, progression, and they simulate the reflection. It is the formative and summative assessment of complex and multifaceted skills and competencies of professionalism. What are the evaluation aspects of the assessment? There are minor lapses, major lapses, and critical events which can be assessed by this. First of all, we will discuss the minor lapses. Minor lapses are the errors but have the minimal consequences. Often there is no awareness of the unprofessional act or it occurs after the fact. There may often be mitigating circumstances. For examples, the students fall asleep on the stretcher in the hall of the hospital, or the student doesn't meet the deadline for the paper due to the family illness but doesn't notify anyone. Now we will discuss the major lapses. Major lapses are the errors but have the serious consequences. Often there is unawareness of the unprofessional act. and there are no mitigating circumstances. For example, student refuses to return phone calls and emails from a professor and doesn't answer his pager from the emergency room or rushes in to see the patient with interesting findings despite being told not to do so. Now, what are the critical events? These are the serious events that will require immediate action by the supervisor because it is a clear violation of the code of conduct. For example, students being dishonored either by lying or misrepresenting himself or herself, students hitting the patient, or students being sexually inappropriate with the patient or fellow member of the healthcare team. How students learn professional values. Some of them bring their professional values to the medical college with them. Some learn through the former curriculum, and some learn from their role models. How can we teach professionalism? Professionalism can be taught by role modeling, bedside teaching, stimulated patients, small group cases discussions. Now, the key to the career success. Professionals agree to organization, wide share values. Teamwork is always mandatory part of the organizational culture. Focus on relationship building. Trust is the glue that holds the organization together. Today's take-home messages: dress your, give your, speak your, listen your, work your, and live your best. Thank you. Now is the MCQ section.
Okay, please go ahead, and I want each of the students to participate into it.
Okay. Number first is the emotional intelligence is different from other intelligences in that it is a set of skill. It can be measured using tests easily. The focus is on emotional reasoning, ability, and knowledge, or it is a new type of intelligence.
C. The focus is on emotional reasoning, ability, and knowledge.
G. Right. Number second is how many professional qualities are portrayed in 4-gate model on the medical professionalism? 4, 9, 8, 16.
8.
8. Yes. Which body or group of persons are often referred to as guardians of the professional values? Professional corporations, professional associations, hospitality community committees, and hospital organizations.
These are associations, professional associations.
Professional associations, yeah, right. All of these are included in CanMed's 2001 roles, except number 1 is professional, communicator, researcher, and scholar.
B. Communicator.
No,
Researcher.
researcher.
Yeah.
Researcher.
Okay, next is the SODIMEDS provides the competence-based framework that reflects the principles of number 1 is professional attire, number 2 is professional medical practice, or number 3 is medical research, number 4 is the principles of medical studies. SODIMEDS कौन से principles को reflect करता है?
Professional medical practice.
Medical
Yes.
practice.
Professional medical practice in Saudi Arabia. Way of ranking clinical competence both in education and workplace is medical pyramid, energy pyramid, Miller's pyramid, and professional pyramid.
Miller's pyramid.
Miller's pyramid.
Yes. The main essence of professionalism is accountability, altruism, duty, competency.
Accountability.
Altruism is the main essence of professionalism. The higher the trait, emotional intelligence, the higher the likelihood of personality disorder. The lower the likelihood of personality disorder, the higher the likelihoods of self-harm, the higher the likelihood of harm to others.
D, the higher the likelihood of harm to others.
No, no.
Personality
Third
disorder.
EQ आपका जितना हाई होगा likelihood of personality disorders उतने लो हो जाते हैं. Emotional intelligence की बात हो रही है. It's B. The
B,
lower the
yes.
likelihood of personality disorders. In four-gate model, which gate address dealing with others? Gate 1, 2, 3, or 4?
3.
Gate 3.
C.
Gate 3.
Gate 3. Two attributes of gate 4 are self-motivation and self-assessment, self-accountability and self-motivation, self-motivation and self-grooming, self-accountability and self-awareness.
B.
B,
B.
self-accountability and motivation.
D.
Right. Thank you.
Well done. You have made a very beautiful presentation. And I am really thankful that my professor, Dr. Mohammed, has also shared his link with us. And I hope I would get his feedback too, what he thinks about today's presentation. He's a prolific researcher on professionalism. And by this link, we can accommodate all the students in our class. Dr. Mehreen, I think she is the winner today. She has answered maximum right answers. What is your idea, Dr. Maida? Who is the next?
Dr. Mehreen on number 1 and Dr. Sadia number 2.
Okay, and Dr. Amber is number 3rd.
Dr. Amber and Dr. Rabia, both same plan.
Okay. I haven't seen Dr. Rabia in the participants list, so perhaps she has not participated in it. The important thing that I want to stress is it is a beautiful presentation. You have covered a lot about it. However, the measurements of professionalism, there are two types. One is the quantitative, other is the qualitative. I have shared one of a research paper on measurements of professionalism. It is again very important because the professionalism is multidimensional. And there are many cultural values that are added in it. That is why we always have three important things whenever we measure professionalism. One is the values, as you have said, altruism is one of the basic essence of values, the character, how honesty, truthfulness, they work. So these are the basic values that one person should have. The second important thing is about the trainings of different professional dimensions. And the third, the most important thing is the spiritual dimension that has been latest in adding to the professionalism. As we know, it is a multi-dimensional, so when we are measuring it, professionalism is also a part of health and healthcare because as you know, the definition of health by WHO includes physical, mental includes
And
emotional,
spiritual. Spiritual.
spiritual, and social health. So the social health is about connections, how you connect with each other. And the spiritual health, as you have shown in gate model, 4-gate model, that spiritual health is with God. How we trust God, how we have a faith in God.